Jared says, oh, the burgers on the thumbnail are gone. Sure hope there wasn't any news that shocked the world or anything. It's Anytime with Ken and Alden. Yeah, we did do a topic change. I'm Ken, that's Alden.
You're saying something happened?
I'll bet. There was an important anniversary we all had to celebrate.
Oh, that's right. You're, of course, referring to the 24-year anniversary of the SpongeBob episode Band Geeks.
Yes.
They played the halftime show at the Bubble Bowl.
Absolutely
right?
True. Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. I'm being told by our crack producing team that you are referring to 9/11.
Yes.
Which
never forget, Alden. And I don't.
Forget, unless you're JD Vance, and you do forget because you're doing something else, which I think ties in with the main topic.
Oh, are you talking about political violence?
Which we never have in this country. So I don't know what you're insinuating.
It's our favorite export.
I am going to do my level best today to say things in a way that does not defy the algorithm, that does not needlessly offend people. That being said, it might be difficult.
You're fast approaching 30. You're getting a level of stoic maturity that is not that you're immature, but you know what I mean. Like this is great. I love to see this.
I made my epic return to Facebook this week.
Oh wow!
For no reason.
That's Alden Diaz's music.
That's right. I came in with a milk truck and I sprayed everybody down. Yeah, it's been an interesting one. This was already, the vibes were off this week. Yeah. And that's here in Florida. I did not get a vibe check on Utah. Perhaps I should have. We are here obviously to discuss. I was about to say the blank of Charlie Kirk, but I really genuinely don't know what kind of words are flag words on this old Google product we know as YouTube. Is it okay to say he was unalived from 2 football fields away? I don't understand. I guess. Yes. I guess I have to be one of those people now.
I no longer make fun of those people because having had videos demonetized where you're like, I said, spoiled cheese. What are you talking about? Like, yes. Yeah. So we'll get through it. But yes, I think you're on the right path.
Yeah. So you're all here. You know what's going on in the world. You all have a relative that, ruined your day over the last 48 hours. I know I do. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. There's new details emerging as we're here right now. Obviously, you guys in the chat, if it's pertinent information, please share. If you have a super chat or anything, it doesn't need to be related to this topic, although I would imagine it probably will be. It's obviously to talk about the death of Charlie Kirk, who I personally will not be describing as an influencer or a champion of the marketplace of ideas or any of the other sort of like softball sanctimonious nonsense that's been thrown around everywhere, except on MSNBC, where you can apparently get fired for accurately reporting facts.
Right.
Let's talk about where we're both at. I had the distinct pleasure of getting this news broken by you to me. I was doing some work. I was, slaving away for capitalism. And you texted me and told me what happened immediately as it was breaking. I just picture you like next to your police scanner, although I guess that doesn't really make sense because you're not in the same state. I guess that digital police scanners probably.
First of all, my police scanner app is no longer updated. How do you know that I sometimes fall asleep listening to that? Okay, carry on.
I just see you like a Bruce Wayne sort of like maybe a turtleneck on. You're sipping on whatever, like, what do you drink? Water with aloe? You're sipping on your water with aloe.
Sometimes. You're painting me as Keaton Batman? Keaton Bruce Wayne? Glasses and a turtleneck?
I think so. If we're being serious, yes. I mean, an ex-comedian that goes a little dark, says things like "You want to get nuts," like you are Keaton Batman. if it was all the Batmans, you are Keaton Batman.
Remember
I'm Pattinson Batman.
My phrase when I'm about to squab is, "You got words? You got words for me? Let's do it." Yes, I think that's accurate.
It's going to be a weird one in general when you take in any story like that. But this obviously extremely relevant to the political moment and everything. So you see this, you text me, you're absorbing it. But what do you do in that moment?
I didn't get any work done. This is we're going to talk about the big picture, including saying the name of Melissa Hortman, and we could do a long list of victims of that. Now, what I think is catchphrase political violence, and happy to have that conversation. I also have some, as I said yesterday on my show, I'll say today, I have some thoughts on why maybe we should just focus on not us in our conversation, but in just the general sense, focus on kind of the big talking points around that right now and not worry about you're so right. I'm trying to find the right words at every step of the way, Alden, and it's hard. Let me go back to the beginning of what you said. I focused on it. I focused on it with a little bit of adrenaline because it is absolutely history unfolding in front of you. And that's actually the difference between some of the other individual cases that might be brought up and should be brought up, as we'll bring up here today. But you know what I mean? Like this is huge. This to me is a on the timeline. You will look at this one and analyze it for a very, very, very long time. So when I have that kind of like, this is happening, unfolding, I want to take it all in. There is an adrenaline rush. There is kind of oh God, what's happening? There's a lot of text, a lot of gallows humor, because that's how we process things. A lot of just trying to understand. And then it kind of goes out from there. That was my starting point with it.
Yeah, I had a similar feeling. It was immediate rush to absorb information because of the geniuses at the FBI, the next level incredible, because we're so great law enforcement at the FBI. There was immediate disinformation. We got the wrong man because it was, it's an old white guy. It's this old man. And then nope, it wasn't. We have nothing. So within the hour, it was already they're bungling the job. And much like with Luigi Mangione last year, they did actual nonsense until it was handed to them through a rat in that case. In this case, a parent of the perp's own father, alleged perp, but perp. Let's be serious for a second. We're at that point.
Yeah.
So he's alleged until but this obviously it has all the hallmarks of guilt. It was also, like you said, the gallows humor. It was rushing to see all these things. But what really perturbed me, what really started to, and I know it got you as well and a lot of our friends, is it exposed sort of like the next layer of the fascist onion in a lot of ways. In that, all the election season usually does it. And other things have done it, the murder of George Floyd and other such events over the last 5-6 years. But this is one of those where it immediately started to shine a spotlight on the character or lack thereof in a lot of people in some really surprising ways. I'm not surprising, because there was never a person that's been like caping for this legacy that I was like, what? You? But it was more so just like, I thought even, I guess we'll just go. Like, I thought that even some of the biggest, like, I just love Jesus types in my life were at least smart enough to understand like the talking points that Kirk had been throwing out as contradictory to their own beliefs. I thought that this was somebody who was far enough, loud enough, and clear enough that they would not claim him. And boy, was I wrong. They claimed him immediately with the and we'll talk a little bit too about the liberal scolds that want to come after anybody that wants to say a truism about anything. Yes, thank you AI for not only just ruining the environment and ruining art, but for enabling what I thought was blasphemy. Evidently, it's only blasphemy when they don't like it. So I had a cousin, by the way, who shared that.
Yeah.
This is not a smart person by any measure, and he has done 6 different, at my last count, 6 different posts about Kirk, and nary a word, of course, for anyone else who has suffered under any event. So that's just I'm dealing with it too, y'all. In my family, I'm dealing with it too. But it's that exposing of like, oh, what used to be you preach this and we have to dig for your hate, we no longer have to dig. We are so beyond the digging, where he can say things like, and I don't need to read his whole litany of quotes. You've all seen many of them, I'm sure. But
I have that screenshotted too.
yeah, and some of them are paraphrases. Some there are new ones too that are being unearthed and everything.
Oh yeah,
like today, like the one that's not in the graphic that I posted on Facebook that you've also seen is from one of his open forums where he said that abortion is worse to him than the Holocaust. So
it's a clip. Yeah, clip going around in one of his debates. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's that. There's the black women don't have the mental processing power or whatever. They have to steal white jobs. Black pilots are underqualified. Gay people are a plague, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And people that I went to high school with or whatever want to tell me how much I'm being disrespectful for bringing up the truth because he's a loving Christian. Now, of course, we're not going to like revolutionize broadcasting right here by telling you that some faith-based speakers are hypocrites. Like breaking, like that obviously. And we've also done this show now for long enough where we've touched on this topic before.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen it in such a breakneck speed and with a complete lack of pretense.
Yeah. I sometimes go the phrase, it's so not surprising, it's surprising. Meaning like, you're not really going to do this, right? It's like when I have some friends who are, in law enforcement and they grow a mustache. I'm like, you're not really going to grow a shitty cop mustache. Oh, you are. Oh, okay.
And to you, all mustaches are shitty cop mustaches. So that's your cross to bear.
Yes. None of you should just have mustaches. And that was I went into Facebook not looking for a fight. I was like, I go in to be like, who am I calling from the herd? Just because we're done here. I have nothing for you anymore, and we don't need to continue this. And there's some folks that I haven't talked to in a couple of years, but like the lean in and the fast lean in, words like this man was an inspiration to us, good American, the lie of just the exchanging of ideas, calling him an activist, he's a propagandist. But just to see that unfold again from usual suspects again, like, all right, that person's, but then some surprises. And I've had this discussion all week, but one of the big things where I'm at is, I do believe there's a lost humanity in the world. I do believe there's a lost connection. You and I both agree. Yeah, this is probably, this is horrendous, and we don't want to see this. And that's not even just false pat decorum. That's just, that's where we are. That's reality. But I want to talk.
I'm coming out today, Ken, as anti-murder. I'm finally going to say it. I'm coming out as anti-murder.
All right, I got you. I hear you. Me too. But where I'm at because of seeing all those posts is, number one, I might use humor to make a point, as I did even on Blue Sky. He died doing what he loved, fomenting political violence. It's not just a snarky joke. It is here's what's been going on. This is the world that we've built, and he was one of the leaders of that world. We need to analyze this. We need to talk about this. And when you post that picture or say the words of an inspiration, that's your right. But the fact that it stops there is what's driving me crazy. And I don't know. I don't believe a reaching. There is no sense to be made. And I think it even, for me, from my perspective, for some of the people I know, I don't know if they even know that long list of things he said. Because I think just some of them, it's second generation. Oh, that's a good Christian man fighting the fight for us. And I want to know in my own life, this isn't in general. In my own life, I want to know which one of them's absolutely dug in and heard. Because I'm sure some have and they agree, but I'm sure some haven't. And that's part of where my frustration is this week.
Yeah, I mean the frustrations this week, honestly. I don't want to be like Yeah, great point. And like not have an intelligent response. But I absorbed all of that. And I realized as you were describing it, that part of the issue with the discourse around an event like this is that you're on that journey, and I am too in a lot of ways. And then, but we're also on like 4 other ones, right?
Right.
Where it's like we can't, no one can agree on like what conversation we're having. And I think immediately, you know, the habitual chronic losers from Barack Obama all the way down that want to play this like, well, you have to be polite to these people. Barack, congratulations on praying for someone that thinks your wife doesn't have a functioning brain. That's fantastic, man. It's like we are at this point now where like people are like, you're celebrating death. And it's like, no, I'm talking about who gets respect in death. I'm talking about the imbalance of like the worthiness of certain lives. And I'm talking about how you perceive a life well lived. I'm talking about all these things and everything that you just said, and gun culture, and it's like and there's this idea that like death makes you a saint or protects you. There's an idea that fatherhood exempts you from criticism, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't like, I'll use myself as an example. It's like, yeah, I've got a father too. He sucks. Like, what do you want? Like, there's no like layers that we need to be like artificially creating to not have honest conversations, especially when the people that want to clutch their pearls are the alleged party of free speech. It is just beyond parody. It's a twisting. It's like this post-fact reality stuff that's been going on since alternative facts, which I do think is one of the most important, to borrow a Star Wars term, shatter points in American history, is the day we just allowed that to become a phrase without immediately shaming it and shutting it down. We're seeing a complete lack of shame crystallize in this moment, that they can pivot in 24 hours from, you know, the transgender people did this, and then they find out that it was one of their little precious little boys, and suddenly it's when we need to pray for his soul. We're dealing with forces beyond just the guns that are never acting in good faith. And so you can't meet them in good faith. And so when you see people that are kind of like the rubes, but they go along with it, you know, like there's a girl who I thought was really, really cool. I said girl, we're almost 30. This woman that I went to high school with her. So in my mind, it's this girl. She's always been nice, always been cool, you know, extremely into her faith as the years have gone on, just fine. And then suddenly it's whether you agreed with him or not, he was out there spreading the word of Jesus. And it's like it's impossible to not talk about it in culty terms as you're exposed to it. And it's concerning that we can't talk about it this way. And then it builds and it frustrates, and you talk to more of your friends and you get angrier and you get angrier and you get angrier, all justified. And then by the end of the first day, I realized what I had realized before. But you know, I think what really pushed me to this realization originally was the day Trump got COVID. But now this is like that to the nth degree, which is that if social media was around back in the 40s and we could send some of these people back in time, it's like Adolf Hitler would have offed himself, and the Democrats and the libs and the Christians would have said things like, he was a little extreme and we didn't agree with him, but there is always help. Please call if you ever they have no concept of the fact that empathy is not for the oppressor, that this person wanted people to die. He wanted women to submit. He wanted people to get hurt. These are not my opinions. These are facts. These are things he said. And because we're post fact, there's this weird disconnect of like, well, it's insensitive to say a true thing. And it's like, I'm sorry, but like there's a direct line between that, like, you know, glad handing bullshit and masked people that don't have to identify themselves throwing people in camps, which is already happening, which is the whole other thing about this, which is good people that know the truth and believe it and are saying the things that we're saying, but immediately have this like well, we can't discuss it because what if they get angry and they retaliate? We are in an abusive relationship with the right. They are a husband who beats us, where if I say anything, he'll hit me harder. And I want everybody to really understand that we are already there. They threatened open war on an American city days prior.
Right.
And to make matters worse, they use shitty AI to do it, which is a separate point. But I just wanted to add that. The Coppola estate should be suing the administration for that post. But, that's his business. That's Francis's business. It's depressing. It's depressing to end up at that point where you're like, we're getting beaten, but we can't. What if they get met? We're there. I don't agree with anything that the conservatives have been saying this week, except one thing, but I don't, not in the way they're saying it, but when they say the phrase "we're at war," they are right, but they are the invaders. Like, we are at war. I'm sorry. Like, there's a Gestapo snatching people and putting them in camps. You should wake up every day and say that to yourself and really internalize it. They are killing people. They have by biological warfare with RFK, by actual warfare, by displacement. And these are the people that want to talk about the sanctity of life. They just murdered 11 people at sea. Extrajudicial killings. International war criminals are running the conversation about this person who was assassinated at the school. And it's not to say that, therefore we shouldn't care, therefore there's not a conversation, but it's I'll end this long rant by just saying we have to have like a serious conversation about clarity of where we're at. We are there. We are in 1930s Germany. It's not a hypothetical, regardless of what the Dems want to say, because they're always insisting that we're on chapter 1 when we're on chapter 20.
Right.
Well, that's where I'm
there. Yeah, a lot there. I think it's all valid, and with what's at play, I think it just continues. When I say it's beyond, it's parity beyond parity. It is. I look at it and go, but this is I even texted you right Wednesday, where we were talking about 200 yards away. Was he hired? And I said, yeah, you only learn those skills in Fortnite or on a small Utah farm. And here we are. And my point of that being, it keeps playing out, not in the terms of predictions, and we're right, we're doing NFL picks. I'm just saying, for a lot of us, we sit and look at these things. It's the DiCaprio point of going, but you see, and I'm hearing what you're saying. It's but don't we see? And it just, this week was a reminder that people don't see. And I will say some people choose not to see, but I really will contend to the end of my days that a lot of people do not see it. They don't see it. I think I told you about the conversation I just had with someone about capitalism versus socialism. And this was a boomer that for the first time in their life learned this week that some of the programs they've been on for the last 20 years are technically socialism. They had no idea, even though they've been shouting down socialism for a long time, which is something that I used to do in my past because I never stopped and just read things. Right. So, I'm trying to meet your frustration, being that is part of the problem that this week just kind of exploded.
Yeah, because we're not. It's the good faith stuff, but it's in regards to your conversation and many others, and a lot of people are having this with acquaintances, friends, family, coworkers. Yeah, it's not just good faith, bad faith. That's the first level of it. But the second harder level is you cannot, what's the phrase? Lead a horse to water and make it drink. It's you also can't lead a horse across the plains of reality. That's right. Real. We're beyond the river. We're beyond the body of water. To decondition somebody. It's this is going to sound like it's a tangent, but it is relevant to what I'm saying. You'll understand what I mean. There's celebrity gossipy news going around that I'm not going to get into it, and I encourage you all in the comments to not get into it because I'm not spending time on it. I'm just using it to illustrate a point that because Ana de Armas, famous actress, has been dating Tom Cruise, there are reports going around now that the indoctrination into Scientology has already started and everything, right? And that causes a conversation about, people kind of smugly, even I'm guilty of that. How could you fall for that BS? How do people get indoctrinated into it? This happens across the board whenever a situation like that happens. And it's like, if at this point you don't understand that it is very easy and very possible, I don't know what to tell you, because it's not exclusive to shady little pseudoscience churches. It is the political regime in this country did the same thing. An entire generation of men lost to people like Charlie Kirk. And you see I had a friend, good friend of mine, he's in Texas, that's where he lives, and he said that he passed by his old school, he was doing something there, and every single frat house yesterday had a banner outside memorializing Kirk. Every single one. Oh yeah. And it's like that is exactly the cult mentality. So it is not that outlandish.
Yeah, no, I had a real close friend whose 21-year-old son is Elon Stan, and just right here, right here for all of it, because they're seeking this representation they feel they don't have, and all that kind of bullshit. I don't want to go in the mud with it, but do we know how long on de Armas's contract with Tom Cruise is? I know Penelope had a 2-year contract. People think I'm joking.
I don't think we know. I do not think we know.
I'm curious as to how long.
But I hope we get her back soon. I hope we get her back soon.
I do too.
I'll miss her for a little while. We got Katie Holmes back. Katie's back. Yep. She's acting again. She showed up in Poker Face season 2.
Did. Yeah, contract.
Very happy to see her.
Ended. Yeah.
As Addy says, no one sets out to join. Yeah, exactly.
I really agree with that, and I think some of the stuff, some of the pain points for you, which I do share. Be clear, but I see it. I look at some of the pain points are that, normalcy was broken a long time ago, and like this isn't. This isn't even for someone like me. When McCain passed, I said nice things about him because I did like McCain, warts and all, and mistakes and all, and problems and all, but I did like him. This isn't that, but I still think a lot of people, again, we talked about the terminally offline. I think they feel this is another normal, not normal, but you know what I mean? Like it is. He was taken for his idea, for just saying the truth. Like I saw that a lot yesterday. Or this isn't normal, and that's why I want to keep going back to his words. Like you said, you're so right. Like these are his words. Yeah, this is his legacy, not the one you keep selling. Do you want to engage with that checkbox? Yes or no? Yeah. Or Alden will not lead you across the waters. What'd you say? The plains of reality.
Of reality. I can't, as much as I would like to. And with that, it's like, it's not just like the version that they're selling is what's disgusting. It's also the speed. It's that like we talked about it up top, but like I will, there's a couple things that I'm going to read in today's broadcast when they're relevant. And I will do this now. So Matthew Dowd fired from MSNBC because he didn't get on board with the rush job of we need to completely change the public's perception of who Charlie Kirk was. Because that's what we're witnessing. Right. And I joked about it on Blue Sky saying that, if a top ranking like KKK Grand Wizard was assassinated, American news media across the board, not just Fox, would be like, he was a fantasy costume enthusiast. He held bonfires for the community. They are cowards because, again, it's an abusive relationship. And this is what Dowd gets fired for. Word for word. Quote, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, lead to hateful actions. And I think that is the environment we are in. You can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect actions to take place. That's the unfortunate environment that we are in. He apologizes, which he should not have had to do. He does it, gets fired. And we're supposed to believe that there's an attack on right-wing speech. Like it's beyond a gaslight. Like it is a project. It is a fundamental project. This is like Goebbels type shit that they think that like we have to convince everybody that there's only one victim group. And that's why they're pivoting from let's paint it as the left before they even had someone in handcuffs to, well, now we need to pray. Like it's disgusting. And it happened so quickly.
And confirmed that he's because I saw Tully mention Chad earlier. He confirmed that he's what do they call it? Groper, the Fuentes.
Great. I don't know if we know that 100%, but it's out there.
I'm literally having someone text me the so-called confirmation news. I'm on the fly here on the show, so I can't.
Yeah, it's all good.
I can't see.
We're learning.
Yes. So anyone out there in chat who has updated information that's coming out, because this is also good. This is what's going to happen. We know who he is. Does this make sense? I'm glad he's the suspect is alive, so that maybe goes to trial, whatever. So that we hear some things directly from him. That he's not a 20-year-old dead on a roof, and now we have a legion of conspiracy theories behind it. Some which are intriguing. I get it. Based on what happened with Trump a year ago. You know what I mean? Like and I say that only in the hope of false hope, perhaps, to what your points of like, then will anyone start to see, will any of this make sense? I don't think it will. But that's something that was going through my mind today.
It's unfortunate for him that he murdered somebody on their side. Because had he murdered somebody on the other side, he could have been like an RNC speaker, like Rittenhouse. But, this isn't a violent country. So I'm sorry for reminding everybody that they have lionized another dipshit little white murderer.
Right.
Just because he agrees with them. And that's sort of also where I wanted to take this, which was like the complete mythologizing of this country as being nonviolent. And this happens from people that I agree with. I also want to preface what I'm about to say with the caveats of I know how political offices work. I know how elections work. I know how campaigns work. I know how PR works. Nobody has to tell me, well, then Zoran has to say that. I know. What I'm saying is the standard that exists that we have to trot out Zoran and Bernie and everybody to say the stock line of violence has no place in this country. The Democrats didn't even speak up for their own when they were assassinated a couple of months ago. Violence has no place in this country. The aforementioned Rittenhouse. Violence has no place in this country. Your president admits that he assaults people on tape. Violence has no place in this country. You stand and give your seat on a plane to someone in camouflage who commits violence on behalf of the country. And it's not me saying that I don't have respect for troops before people get their panties in a bunch and start clutching their pearls about this great nation. What I'm saying is that you can't selectively decide when it exists and when it doesn't. So if Charlie Kirk had put on the uniform of a country we don't like for a play or something, is that enough of a visual that it makes it okay? Like, when is it okay? Now, these are rhetorical questions, obviously. I know the answer. I know the official position of the country. It's okay when it's Palestinian toddlers. That's when it's okay. Right. But it's like, it is just a fundamental fucking myth that violence has no place in this country. When has this country ever solved anything in a nonviolent way?
Right.
It's insane. We commemorate 9/11. Our solution to that was some of the biggest violence that has ever been committed against innocents ever. Entirely built on lies. And there's no shame about it. And with 9/11 sort of existing adjacent to this assassination, you can't help but sort of have them on the mind. It's like, why have Muslim people had to shoulder the shame of that event for 24 fucking years, and yet white people don't have to shoulder the shame of shit? That's part of the problem. Not that violence has no place in this country. Bernie Sanders was arrested with Martin Luther King, who shockingly did not end his career in a debate. You can Google what happened to Martin Luther King in case you're unclear. It's like, it's just insane to me. Absolutely just banana pants that violence has no place in everything. Did Jesus Christ go out non-violently? Anyone? Bueller?
No,
it's insane. Yeah. It is bananas. I'm sorry for raising my voice.
No,
but it's just,
I feel you, man.
It is insane.
I feel you. That's what I'm talking about. We're past the point of norms, and I feel the frustration on it. And it's not a surprise. Some of the statements are a surprise. Looking at Newsom, again, so surprised it's not a surprise. It's again that game that we're stuck in. It's the wheel we're stuck in. So we want to break it.
It's just crazy. It's like
this week explodes that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when Ta-Nehisi Coates was on CBS and they were grilling him about about Palestine and everything because he dare write a book about visiting there and actually seeing things. And it's the whole like, oh, so what about the right to exist? And he said nations don't establish their right to exist. Like America's creation, like we established our right to exist through force. The police operates through force. Violence is inherently part of it. Like again, they pardoned every single January 6th insurrectionist. At least a couple of them got killers.
Many of them are doing so well post-pardon.
Yeah,
not committing crimes at all.
It's just like it's maddening, and then the expectation is we need to go along with it to protect conservative feelings. That's what I've learned. Like, we have to, you have to go along with it to protect everybody's feelings because we should not. And again, these are we've talked about it a little bit off air. They have forced Democratic governors to become states' rights governors. They have forced a lot of trans, queer, and POC to become I have to arm myself, people. And then they have also forced people like me, I'm not going to speak for you, but people like me to turn into facts don't care about your feelings people. They have forced us to turn into you little fucking snowflakes. And because that's how they act.
Yeah.
Because they are, again, the husband that beats the shit out of his wife and then has a beer and cries. That's what they are. And that is fundamentally the right. Their entire DNA can be summed up in the quote, "for me and not for thee." It is entirely just like, we should have free speech, not you. And it's not like fascism is coming. Fascism is here. This is a fascist country. Like, we have to accept that. We just, and I think that this conversation has exposed a lot of people have not just not accepted it. They don't even have a concept of it. They really don't. They think that this is like Toby Keith singing after the towers went down, America, like we're sad. That they're still there. They're still all the way back there in the timeline.
Yeah. No, that's always been my point of, I am very sincere when I said never forget 9/11. I watched the doc last night. I do not think you should forget or undervalue what that was to an entire generation, to an entire country. But the conversation doesn't stop in February of 2002. The history goes on. It needs to be studied. It needs to be understood because it directly ties to where we are now. Directly ties to where we are now. And I think you're very right. I think there's a lot of, because you even hear, can we just go back? Can we just go back to everyone was together. We were together for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
6 days. I don't know. And
together. We were so together. That's why every brown person was worried their window was going to get smashed in.
Was smashed in.
We were so together.
Yep. The Dixie Chicks were, nearly run out of the world. Yeah. And so I think your point's very right. Is I think that's a lot of what is this week because it is so huge. It is a watershed moment. You unfortunately brought the expanded universe in the conversation by saying Shatterpoint. Let's leave that out of the conversation. But it's a good use of the word of just like this. This is this will go on. The ramifications will go on. I don't know what that means. I don't know but it's so big and it should be studied. And I think it is the next in the direct line going back to exactly what you're saying of freedom costs $1.09. That's why I love that parody and satire so much. Because we just stopped there. We just stopped as a country.
And
sitting right there.
The collective consciousness of any resistance can't actually crystallize until people understand where we're actually at. Charlie points out here, this is a true fact of history. No fascist government was removed nonviolently, by the way. Ever. Period.
Yeah. Correct,
it has never happened. As much as we would love for it to happen. It has simply never happened. Again, I don't want to turn this into petty nerd hour. We already brushed on it with that swipe at the EU that Mr. Knapsack just took. All opinions expressed on Legends are the opinions of the person saying.
Horrible Star Wars storytelling.
I'm not going to disagree, but it is hilarious to see, especially from book one. That's so funny. From book one, fucking Splinter of the Mind's Eye taking shots on a Friday. You know, I can't. It's funny because, and Ken can attest under oath that this is true. Before all this went down, I was complaining to you in private about how annoyed I am that there were people that during Andor's run were like, man, I'm so radicalized. Like, this is happening right now. Look at this. Look at we are the gore. Look at all this. Like, oh, the troopers are just like ice and everything. And then the season ended. They didn't get their acting noms. Radio silence from the vast majority of these people. And then something like this happens and they're like, violence has no place in it. And I'm just like, yeah. Andor, famously nonviolent solutions to everything. Famously, he talked to the Primor cops in that first episode. Famously, you know, he escorted Mon peacefully out of the Senate and said, guys, let her pass. We cannot silence women voices. And everyone said, you're right, Cassian.
You're right.
We can't silence women's voices. It's just like insane to me that people, and this is not a new thing. Like, everybody wants to like talk about it. No one wants to be about it. Right. Like, it's always been that way, but it is hilarious to think about nerds, especially during this, because many nerds, you know, in the same way that Christians are nerds about their mythology, it's like there are some shared like little stupid points that go across the groups. Just in fairness, all love, of course, to my fellow Star Wars fans, except the ones that I have no love for. Yes, exactly. The Gorman negotiation, as Eli calls it. Yeah, exactly. That was my favorite episode. You know, Imperial sitting around being like, we actually like these fighters. Nice. Thank you, Addie, for contributing to the goal once again.
Oh yeah, thank you, Addie, who is homesick right now. So
Addie is sick. Addie says, get vaccinated / boosted. Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah,
I really do.
You don't qualify.
Yeah.
You don't qualify.
So
yeah,
other things.
A lot on the plate. I love it. Yeah, other things.
There's a lot that goes into this one story.
I'm letting you just cook, man. I'm letting you just cook. You got some chicken sizzling in the plate here in the what Dan? What do you call that? The skillet.
Skillet, wok.
Yeah, wok.
Something. I wanted to read this quote in regards to the violence as well, and then I'll throw it to you for your response. This is from a journalist, Sana Saeed, who wrote, "What this reveals." Oh, sorry, I should give the. She's replying. Basically, it was somebody saying, "Can't believe people are tutting graphic video, dude. I've seen little kids get their limbs shredded into ribbons and burned alive for 2 years. That video was nothing in comparison to that," which I agree with. And she says, "What this reveals is the base American instinct, never wanting to see their own violence, especially when it's against their own. There's a sanctity preserved for the white American body. This type of violence is always presented as an aberration, what have we become, versus the inevitability of a culture that partakes in unmitigated violence inside and outside its borders that has rendered it necessary to dispose of any human life for its own gains." That's a lot, obviously. But how do you feel about it with your life experience, having been in and around law enforcement, or even just from the angle of like, you know, I asked you, you know, where were you on 9/11? And you gave me like a point by point breakdown of the whole 24 hours. And I was like, I was in kindergarten. Like, I had 1 point in response. So you've seen a lot more of how we react to these things and whatever. But how do you feel about sort of like the denial of everything?
Yeah, because it's not I think it's why I always go to history stuff and wanting to learn more about history in the sense of what actually happened, which is also impossible to know, right? Because it's just continued to be passed on through the ages. But I think in the last 5-10 years there has been a drive and then to recontextualize things, to re-examine things, and there was such a myth, American myth, whatever. How the West was one myth is perhaps the biggest one, right? And I think it's okay. And I knew, you know, I knew a while ago, years ago, that, you know, some of these truths, but you don't want to face them, right? And you know, how even the country, not how the country was formed, but go to 1800s when we expanded and the violence behind that. You kind of know it, but you just don't want to engage with it because it's a big mirror and that's frightening, and I get it. But I think it's important to try to detangle it. Again, going to 9/11, we should track everything after to now, but it's important to track what's before. And I think, for me personally, it doesn't discount anything. And I think that is, I don't even want to say on the right, but that is some of the fears you see when, like, if we're going to actually examine Thomas Jefferson, are you going to cancel him? Like, and I don't think you should, because I think it's way more complicated than that. There's some things that are pretty cut and dry, but you actually examine the history and who these people are, who we've lionized, but also, we're here because of them. I think it's important to just go face it, and see what's there. And just kind of understand not just the context of the day. It was the style of the time, but just like, we didn't get that growing up, my generation and beyond. I think your generations and younger are getting more of the picture. And so when I hear that quote you read, like, that's where I take from it, of just like, what have we become is a great way, because we all know this is who we are. But a lot of us did not grow up with that. Yeah. Not grow up with that. We did not grow up with who we are. We grew up with, let's not do that. And that's some of the pushback I even got last couple of days of I had friends that I didn't block, just like they were affected by it. So a lot of them saw the video going around Wednesday. I saw it. I had a different reaction to it, because I've seen a lot of those videos in my former life. We had to study them in weird training situations. But I was just like, but it's not good. And I had some friends that are just like, they disengaged from the whole entire conversation because it was too much. It broke the brain a little bit. And I think that was also part of, not to pick on my mom, but like, she's got all those books on her shelf of 1776 and this and that and Lincoln. And if you even go to like Lincoln and say, well, here's some actual truths about him, I'm not erasing him. I'm saying, here's the whole picture of him. She wants to disconnect from it. You can't do that to me, because then you learn who we are versus, oh, we can't become that. We are that. So let's meet that. Let's face it. I hope that's not a rambly word salad, but I'm just like, it does that. What she said, the core of that is something I deal with constantly. Yeah. Even in my own life. Yeah.
People, to once again invoke a nerdy thing, we as nerds understand generally the idea of the truths we cling to depend on our point of view, right? But it's also sometimes the truths people cling to define their identity, which is the scarier other, like, adjacent thing to it, where they think, like, in part, what I have accepted as true informs who I am, instead of having the openness to say, I'm learning new information. How can that alter the way that I approach this situation? So it's like, let's say hypothetically, somebody genuinely believes, which I don't think is the case, but let's say someone genuinely believes that Charlie Kirk was this, like, honorable man of God who was out there preaching the word. And I present you with the amount of evidence I could present you with to the contrary.
Right.
If that offends you, that is because you are afraid of the world, not because I'm trying to, like, hurt you. It's just like, you need to be accepting of the fact that, like, this happens. We've talked about it many times on the show, as it pertains to art, as it pertains to athletes, as it pertains to like whoever. This week, we also found out that WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi, and it's like,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that well, because they wanted to announce it special after this boxing match this weekend, but then one of them let it slip. So it's like, that's a small example, but it's like, that requires you to make a decision as a viewer based on the information that you gathered. No one's trying to scream and yell and hate you if you're going to enjoy the wrestling, but it's like, to act like it's burdensome on you to know truths is the definition of privilege. That is privilege to the highest degree. And they don't want to accept that. Like, it's if it bothers you to know the truth about Charlie Kirk, imagine being like a black person in this country, knowing what some people think of them for existing. It's like, you haven't even, you live a life that, like, doesn't even, like, if you're freaking out about people being upset at the things Charlie Kirk has said, you don't have real problems. evidently. Like you have not been actually affected by reality in that way. Like I know people that have to be afraid when they leave the house. It's like you get to sit at like your little bake sale and collect non-taxable dollars in your basket. Like what are you talking about genuinely? But it's the honestly, if any time doesn't work out, we might just have to open up a church. Save a few bucks. But
I'm set to not have an apartment, a house to live in December 1st. So I'm going to be staying at a church. I'll see if they take me in.
Baton Rouge, here we come.
Can't move.
Going. I'm writing it
Can't
down.
move with that dog. What do you say? No, I really agree. The privilege angle of it. It's a heavy word. It's a dirty word. It's a scary word. But it's a correct word. I was thinking it's just what I also speak of is that I want to be clear on is there. It's a fear too because you're removed. It's the rug pulled out when speaking to someone like that. Yeah. So for instance, like if I have the conversations with a few select individuals in my life about the legacy of Charlie Kirk, and they come at he was a husband and a father. Correct. Yeah, that sucks for them. Yeah, I agree. Shouldn't we do something about this so that it doesn't keep happening? All right, there's that point. But if they take but he was this and he was that, that's where I want to pull out the list. That's why I have it screenshotted on my phone. So I can be like, all right, point 1, he believed gay people should be stoned to death. Do you agree with that? And that goes to what you're talking about, that it is that mirror. But then to look at that and have to say, no, I don't agree with that, means you are now on quicksand as a person because your identity is now potentially slipping away. And that's where I think a lot of people turn. I'm not trying to save anyone in my life. I'm not trying to change anyone in my life. I just got to function. I got family I'm choosing to still be around, right? Yeah, so it's like, this is your identity then? Yes? Check yes or no. So that I know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And so there's a great privilege. You're absolutely right. There's a great privilege. They don't see it as that. They see it as their identity. And now we're shaking the ground that they're on, and they don't want to. That's where they don't want to face it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a comment here from our friend Dan over at the Food in My Beard. He says, some of my wife's, who is Black's, close family members were posting homages for this fool, and she went on a blocking spree, first of all, as she should. And second of all, it's like, I'm not speaking for her, but just like, since Dan said, this is a Black woman in America. And it's like, and what did he say about her and her existence, her mind, her brain, her capacity?
Yeah.
Like, it's like it for some people, this pain is hypothetical. For some people, it's all
real,
distant, and for some people, it's real.
Well, and even when the free speech stuff comes up, and they stop there. That's one of my themes today. They stop. Never forget, we stop. The West was one. We stop. And we don't continue. So, all right, free speech. Yeah, I totally. Again, I don't think someone who chooses to say and live the life that they want should be killed for that. Yeah, that's been our point the entire time against the words of people like Charlie Kirk. Got it. But then again, all right, cool. You free speech. We should all have free speech. But when someone says this, gay people should be stoned to death. What do we do with that? Just shrug?
Yeah.
Just shrug and go, yeah, it's the cost, because that's what he said, as we know about gun control. And that's where I want to answer that now. I'll give you the picture of the family. I'll give you the sad feelings. I'll give you the tragic. I'll give you that. I don't. It's like football. I'll punt. We'll get field position. That's great. But that's where my head's at right now, Alden. Like this. He said that, and it clearly has incited people. In fact, probably incited the person that did this to him. What do we do with that then?
Yeah. How is that not criminal? And again, this is a larger thing than just Charlie Kirk, because it's like, this is a country that has allowed the Klan to openly exist. This is a country that has allowed swastikas to get flown on boats at parties as recently as this last November. There was it Huntington Beach? There was a Nazi march
yesterday. Yesterday, and they're going to have it again Saturday. Yes, for those that don't know, Huntington Beach, which former NFL punter Chris Cluey lives there, and he's always fighting. He went viral for fighting the city council there. It's very Southern California, Orange County, the Orange Curtain, very, very red. Yes, they went out. They went to a Kirk vigil, took it over, and were chanting, "White man fight back, white man fight back," and they've announced they're going to be back Saturday.
Sure.
So
with that,
continue. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, but that exists, and we do nothing about it, and then we act surprised about these events, right? Like, we only allow, but how dare a college student at UCLA set up a tent and get on the bongos, for a slam,
right?
Like, it's
right.
It is a completely different standard by design. We can't. In this country, we have never deemed these groups as terrorists. We've never deemed them as terrorists.
Right.
But then you look at what's happening like over in the UK, and it's like, to them, elderly people saying, "Please stop the bombing," you're a terrorist now. And that is by design.
Right.
And you talk about never forget and how you're saying people stop there. And it's a great point. We say never forget every year, but have you ever once seen anybody bring into their 9/11 conversation a never forget for the people that were wrongfully slaughtered in response to it? Has that ever happened? Have they ever said, "Hey, and by the way, lots of people that had nothing to do with it lost their lives too, and that's also wrong"? No.
Right.
It stops in New York for them. It only exists there. And it's it's reality warping on purpose. It's the bad faith that we're talking about,
Yeah. No. And side note that maybe I don't know if this is a comical aside, but like 5, definitely 10 years ago, I'd be the one to say, like, Alden, maybe don't call them the name of the political group in Germany in the 1930s. Don't do that. That's a bridge too far.
Oh, Hydra. You're referring to Hydra.
Hydra. But now they actually, and have always, but now they're actually there. So it's just a fact. And when we have the false prophet president going on camera, stitching his stroke-affected face together and going on there to say that the radical left calling us that word, look, this is the problem. That resonates with the people I know, right? I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't like being called that. You're right. That does suck because I don't think you are. But hey, everyone else on your team is. Like, literally. You see that? They got the tattoos.
And it's not a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of opinion. Like, I'm not saying it because I want there to be them. I'm not saying it because I want them to study. I don't want to cosplay Medal of Honor from PlayStation 2. Like, it's like, they are there. Like,
And that also, I think, goes to, that's been a change in me personally, only because, again, I was like, oh, no, we're just, at this point, you're stating facts. But also it is, it's just, it's that thing you're talking about of just like, we need to kind of break. I get the normalcy. Like I said, I don't need to explain to you, but if Howard Dean loses his political career because he went, like everyone's got to be careful with their statements. Whatever, it is whatever. Like I told you in our text, we're just sharing our text chain. So I was like, Alden, that's our job to go online. It is like Magua telling the French commander in Last Mohicans, "Why'd you let my enemies go?" I had to, but if something happens to them on the walk, on the way out, I don't know. That's us online spitting truth what other people don't. Because I want to be clear, I'm not inciting violence. I'm saying, because again, I have to legally have a caveat, right, Alden, huh? But you're talking about, like, you are one of the ones who are, for me in my life, a leader in wanting to break the norm, the foundations that we're stuck in. Where 5-10 years ago it was like, don't call them that. That's not true, and it is true. Perhaps always
we call them the alternative right that are a little rambunctious and everything. And by the way, thank you for the really sweet compliment of being a thought leader and everything. I don't know if I consider myself to be one. It's like, because it's like, what thought am I trying to lead that we shouldn't be polite to people that want to destroy? It's like, I get
Jerry the Canon Junkie, who joins me in my fight against Star Wars Legends, says, just based on his name alone, I agree with Ken's point. It was Alden's point. So let's give Alden, the thought leader, the credit.
9/11.
I disagree with
it. Man. Yeah, no, it's a really good point that we were saying. Like, we've arrived at that point where it is reality that they are there. We have to deal with it. Like, we don't call them that for no reason. They have a eugenicist running health right now.
Yeah.
Like these are just things that are like, it's reality. Again, I wish that this was not the case, but they run the media. They're about to put a crazy Zionist, loser from the washout from the Times to run CBS.
Oh, right.
They're silencing their opponents. They're doing every step. And again, we were also saying this in 2016, which is part of why I feel crazy, because we've already had these conversations, but we're still having them. They've gotten louder. They've gotten clearer. You can't, and even if you identify them, there is cost. So your point about the official film of Anytime with Ken and Alden, The Last of the Mohicans, Michael Mann's masterpiece, is true. Like, it does come on us as independents and people, a million times bigger than us, like Hassan Piker, who's like in our lane, but like, making money. It's like it does come on us to have to speak a little bit of truth to power, because nobody else really can right now. The real irony too, and you've probably experienced this every weekend as a comedian, of the no, we can't say anything anymore guys, is that they actually can say whatever they want. You can't say anything if you're disagreeing with what's going on right now. I looked at DC Comics. DC Comics canceled an entire new series this week. A brand new book came out Wednesday. New Comic Book Day is Wednesday, for those that don't know. It was the new Red Hood comic. This is a Batman character. So this is not a small new project. This is an established DC Comics superhero. And the writer, a trans woman, identified this person as one of these people. I guess are we avoiding I guess for YouTube's sake, I guess maybe. The German
the German political party in power.
Yeah, exactly. the goose stepping morons, as it were. Yes. She identified and basically it was like rotten hell, rotten piss, whatever she said, and they canned the entire series. Issues 2 and 3 already off to print. So now they got to figure that out. They have to refund comic book stores at the price of the order. They have to all this work to protect the feelings of who exactly? Somebody that thinks all the things that Kirk has said. So they're going to open up a comic book, art that already does not agree with them, by the way, because it's like we don't need to go into the history of comics, but it's like we have this genre because we were punching these people back in the 30s. So it's like it is a laughable point of parody. I put that in the same category as Colbert. It's just like if these institutions, because comics and late night have that in common, where they're always like kind of like 2 heartbeats away from dying as a form, like they've been dying for the last 20 years. But it's like I thought that I would see these art forms actually die a real death. I did not think that we were going to put them out to pasture to make fascists happy, and that's where we're at. It's a really really unsettling reality.
You invoke the stand-up thing. I see it time and time again. And I've experienced it where, again, 90% of the time, I just want to get up on stage and say some swear words, talk about Amelia Clark, and make a poop joke. That's what I'm here for. But
that's why you got into the art form specifically in that order.
Yeah, in that order. I didn't even know who Amelia Clark was in 2003, but that was the order. But yeah, those times that you want to do something, say something, you're right. There is this in the hey, how was the audience? Did you try? Oh yeah, I mentioned Trump. They didn't like that. Oh, okay. And it's not just me; it's like every comic. Because in the green rooms, more often than not, Alden, in the green rooms that I'm in, I'm surrounded by like-minded people. You know what I mean? Like there's I'm sure some that are not, but it's not like in the comedy club green rooms I'm in that there's a bunch of people like, saying there's one or two. Quindale, Quindale is one of these shitheads, and he's that. He'll be in a green room and make you really uncomfortable. Look him up. And his girlfriend, but most of them not. But then when we get on stage, we're afraid. We are afraid because you're trying to protect the feelings of of the audience. And not everyone is. And I've said, and there's some great comics that do, and I've had my moments like Mark Ellis has had his moments. But it's just the underlying feeling that if you say something like that, they're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
You gotta be nice about it.
Yeah. And for who? Like, what is there to be gained? Like, what honestly do people think they're gonna get with the complying in advance and everything? And that's a larger conversation than just Charlie Kirk, but like, it's exposed a lot of that, where it's like right now, literally right now, because again, so much of this is happening. We're doing some light producing on the fly. We're checking some things.
I'm still trying to look up some stuff on the connection to Fuentes, but yes.
So the State Department now has threatened. The State Department's had a busy week, by the way, because Rubio, after being an international war criminal for murdering people in international waters, which they will not answer for, and JD Vance, before his buddy Kirk was assassinated earlier this week, we didn't even touch on this. JD Vance saying in public, in writing, he doesn't give a shit if it's called a war crime. So that's nice. That's nice for old Vance.
President Vance is going to be a fun challenge.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, and it's like not for nothing, but like if that was my son, I'd be popping pills too. Like it's just like I like Ron Howard would have to make the Alden Diaz story if I was related to that guy.
I still think we need a little bit of an apology from Ron Howard. I give him a little bit of a break for raising Bryce Dallas Howard so well, but yes.
Yeah, look, when a script comes across the desks at Imagine, they assume it's already vetted. All right, I have a lot of empathy for my boy Ron. He's never done me wrong. I have to believe he was bamboozled.
And Brian Grazier, he just after a while thought, let me give Trump a try. Let me see if this works out in 2024. You know?
Yeah. So the State Department does that. Then Rubio threatens that we're going to have to respond to Brazil getting Bolsonaro, and now the State Department threatens action against immigrants who praise the killing of Charlie Kirk. However, I would note, in addition to that, has the State Department ever, even in a statement, sanctioned any of these outright fascist pundits for inciting the killing of those same immigrants? Ever?
Right.
No. Because Charlie Kirk, to the American conservative establishment, to the regime that runs this country, is worth more than any immigrant. He's worth more than any child, evidently, by far, any child. He's worth more than secular kids. He's worth more than kids praying in the church first week of school that get gunned down. He's worth more than all of them to these people. And we're getting some breaking news now from Tully. Immigration officers just murdered someone outside Chicago. Yeah. Charlie Kirk's worth more than whoever just got murdered.
Well, the person was driving a car. They hit a ICE agent with the car, and then ICE agents opened fire, and that person is gone. Yes, that's breaking.
Cool.
I'm trying to read the story as fast as I can right now, too.
Cool, awesome. I'm so glad that these guys that don't have to identify themselves ever get to be judge, jury, and executioner on people for what very well could have been an accident. Did this person try to run them down, or they were just driving and hit them by accident? Like what? Again,
I think that it was they were trying to conduct a vehicle stop. I'm scrolling through. By the way, they're not a sponsor, but I do use Ground News. And one of the tragic comedic things on Ground News is it will run a headline and then give you all the 18 or so articles from different news sources. And the far right ones, the way they frame things, it's actually worth studying. It's actually really worth studying.
It is.
Yeah. Officer left severely injured after illegal alien in Chicago resists arrest. That's their headline on the Gateway Pundit.
That is literally
thank you, Tully, for the update. I'm trying to read all of it as fast as I can, but well, again, also to me, regardless of how it's going to be framed, it's one of those like this is going to happen. You're creating a situation, right? You're creating.
They want.
I'm I'm even reading the update. Again, I'm reading so fast. The update on the boat. The Venezuelan boat, 11 people killed. Vessel struck by U.S. military was heading back to shore. Like, as a security officer, we couldn't arrest someone if they were leaving. Like, we couldn't. Now we're just launching rockets at 11 people leaving because we thought something or wanted to think something. Yeah, that's part of it too. Anyways, I hate to say thanks for the update, Tully, but thanks for letting us know.
No, thank you for letting us know that, Tully, because it's a relevant point, because that right there, that outright murder, will get nothing. You know, like no one will. No child has ever gotten the half-mast that I know of in the wake of any of these things. The same party, by the way, that literally made fun of McCain for being a POW, the same party that has done a million different things. Like, they're like, the flag must be at half-mast. Air Force Two must transport the. You know, and if you point these things out, then it's like we've said before. Why are you being so partisan? Why are you sowing division?
Presidential.
Why do you have hate in your heart?
Medal of Freedom or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah. But that is their game plan, right? That's sometimes when I talk about how this being so beyond parody, that it breaks your mind. I think that's some of the pain you're feeling is just like when you do that thing where you're like, he was a podcaster. Like, what are we doing? And you're just like, yeah, that's what they do. And then I got my neighbor around the corner. Oh man, he put his "Don't Tread on Me" flag half-mast on Wednesday so fast. He was happy.
Happy. Don't tread on me. Yep. These are the
He's got
real
that
rebels.
too. He's got that hanging in his window. It is American. He has a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and then above it is a American flag with it was 1776 put on it, which I would think would be some sort of violation of flag code, but I don't know flag code. So.
I mean, it's a violation of flag code to wear the flag as clothing, and yet everybody does it every fourth. And ICE is doing it with the masks right now. I know the show is not about the ICE mask thing, but every time it comes up, it just angers me so much. I saw a clip the other day of somebody saying, if you're just doing your job, like, why do you have your masks on? You want to identify yourself. And the guy legit, he like dropped a quote that you would hear in a superhero thing where he was like, I got to keep my family safe. And it was like, you are literally about to like snatch a woman with a family. And, like, you should not be allowed to. I fundamentally don't think that any law enforcement agency should be allowed to be masked ever. It is insane. It is an insane concept.
Well, it's again all that thing too. Like when I was talking about even the mustache, where like you watch, what was it? When was Watchmen TV show? 2019. And you watch that in 2019, you're like, a secret police force covered in masks? Come on. And then we have here, and you're like, we go, oh man, wow, does anyone see that? But they don't. And
that's
you know why our minds start to break.
It's actually fantastic that you bring up that show. By the way, the Watchmen show on HBO, it's on Max right now. Excellent. If you guys haven't seen it, it's only one season. It's a miniseries. It's not an adaptation of the book, so you don't need to know anything. It's a sequel that stands on its own. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Not only is that all relevant, but it's relevant in terms of, too, how they control history. How many people openly said that was the first time they learned about the Tulsa massacre because of Watchmen? I'm one of them, too. My ex was one of them. I watched it with her, and she was like, what the fuck? We looked it up. Yep. Like, it was eye-opening, and it's because we allow racist people to control history. Those mass police, one of them played by the incomparable Don Johnson. Don, we love you, but you do play a lot of racists. I guess you're just good at it. Don Johnson. And then what happens? They open up his closet in the show in the Klan. Like it is. That's the point. It's happening now.
They deal this with an "Oh brother, where art thou?" Like they did. It's is you is or is you ain't. But and then I think I brought this before because this comes up the Watchmen thing and the Tulsa massacre. Like I told you, like one of my good friends raised in Texas and Oklahoma. He's like, oh, we knew about it. We were taught about it like every year. But man, you should see how they framed it. Like, oh boy. Well, our ancestors were considered heroes for putting down those folks. Quotations around those folks.
Yeah, and you think about too, you know, again to tying everything into Charlie Kirk, who at the time of this reporting at 3:15 Eastern is still dead. He
Great. Thank you, Chevy Chase.
Sometimes I do things just to see if I can get a Ken laugh, and every time that I do, an angel gets its wings.
Every time you do, a Scotty J-Ro gets his wings. I'm bad.
He does not need to fly higher than he already has been lately. We need to bring him down to earth. He, you know, created now this conversation about, well, you know, he engaged in dialogue, right? Like Governor TV, as our friend Eli calls him, Gavin Newsom, who already is like being treated like he's the presumptive nominee for 28. I'm on the record now on Blue Sky, which we all know is the record until we all move somewhere else, saying that I will never vote for him, and I won't.
Is he, or is he saying it? That's what I want to know.
He's saying it, and no one's challenging him, I guess, is the better.
Okay. Okay.
And because it's like, you could also make the argument.
I'm not saying that to argue with you. I'm just saying, like,
no, totally, you're right.
Who's saying it?
He's saying it. No one's arguing him, and there are other people that like you could make the argument for are also like Pritzker, but Pritzker is not like, he's not doing it in a Gavin-y way. Like I think he's been great. I would rather have Pritzker.
Yeah, I think Pritzker's been great in terms of in that world, which great is maybe a low bar, but yes,
for sure. Mm-hmm. But you look at, you know, it's not just like the right wingers that are doing it. Well, I mean, Newsom is kind of a right winger, but you know what I mean. It's like
I know what you mean.
He comes out and he's like, because he had Charlie Kirk on his bullshit ass podcast, and he does the whole like, this is what America's supposed to be about: discussing differing ideas, bouncing concepts around, really getting it. Like he does this whole like glaze post after weeks of just letting his team do the all caps Trump parody stuff. Then you can tell Gavin was like, give me the phone. I gotta say something real. Then he slicked his hair back and then he picked the phone back up again. And then he, you know, started to glaze Charlie Kirk. And it's like, how can anyone, again, do the whole America is supposed to be about exchanging ideas shit when they are banning everything from Julianne Moore's children's book about what it's like to be a redhead with freckles all the way to the Diary of fucking Anne Frank. They're banning all these books, but they want to talk about the exchange of ideas.
What ideas is what I'll say to people in my life and bring that up. What ideas was he exchanging? Right.
Like what? Right. What? He literally his dying breath was him trying to spread misinformation about trans.
Yes. Just so surreal that I can't even comprehend it sometimes.
Yeah. We don't always get the little extra juice of knowing someone's dying words. In this case, we have them, and it's just like, man, like down to the end trying to hurt people. And that's the ideas that shall be protected, but not novels, not historical texts,
not historical texts of what happened. Yeah, and again, it all history written by the victors. Yep, got it. It's a neat bumper sticker phrase, but you're seeing it more and more, and you're feeling it. If you choose to go back and look, you see it more and more, and that's part of where our brains are breaking this week.
Yeah. Kate is here saying hi, Ken. Sending peace and love.
Kate, thank you. Check out their movie when you can. Quarter Life Crisis. I think we're trying to get it out there to the world. A joy to be in, and Kate is a joy to work with.
And in that film,
RB3 a little less. RB3 a little less. I'll be honest.
RB3. We do love you, RB3. In that film, in Kate's film, you play a character who loves the free exchange of ideas. I understand.
Right. So I play. It was so weird. I play a character named Dr. Luke Harrison. Note to my Star Warsers. That is a Jordan Peterson clone, and the clips are great, and we had so much fun doing it. There's so much footage on the cutting room floor because Kate and I had a lot of fun where I'm just berating him for being this 25-year-old trying to figure out, and he's not manly enough, blah blah blah. And I saw Kate would disagree, but maybe I was in my cups about it. My scene comes up, and maybe Alden's because I'm so good as a performer. But no one really laughs, and afterwards, no one will really talk to me because the movie has real people and comedy scene. Like you kind of can't tell, but some people are so good, you know. Some are so over the top and wonderful. No one would talk to me because I think it was believable enough that white man with the beard was saying that shit. because we just see it all the time, and they dominate, and we don't talk to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I almost would have liked it if someone came up and said, "I think you're a fucking asshole," and I would have been like, "Oh, it's not real." Like, but like we protect them. Like, if you go to the coffee shop and there's the dude with the MAGA hat and the Gulf of America established 2025 shirt, which I saw in Vegas last week, we just kind of right, even though they want say something, bro. Like, we protect that norm, and I think that's what people were doing to me.
Look, you and the previously mentioned Don Johnson, you guys are just too good in this lane.
It's me and Don.
Why didn't they pick you for the 2006 Miami Vice remake? I don't know. I don't know why they didn't.
Man, I would have been Crockett and Tubbs. Yes,
they went Colin Farrell for that one. Very similar types, you guys. I think.
Good. It's good. Anyways, I don't want to distract or change. I think the energy. We're going where we need to go. And so much stuff I'm playing, but because also, like, I don't even, like, we're having our discussion, and we want to thank everyone listening here today. Thank you for liking the video, Dr. Addy, killing it with super chats. We really appreciate that. But it's like, also, after all, it's like, I know this show, we always talk about it. We're not a solution show. We're an idea. This is truly a you and I talking in some circles, because we're trying to still navigate process, not just what happened this week, but where we are. At least that's where I am at. I don't want to speak for you, where I'm just like pointing at things and going, how, why, what do we do? Like, and it's exhausting, right? Yeah. It's exhausting.
Yeah. And frankly, the other element too of doing a show like this is that we're also not going to come out here and deliver some of the material that we've been delivering in private. I'll tell you guys right now, I've been killing it in private this week. I've been the funniest I have been in years this week. But,
you know, and I know, and I agree. I as W. Kamal Bell saying, you know, you all can just keep some things in your text threads. We all have them. I actually think it's a good, text threads are a good thing. It's a valve release, because that's just how, I mean, I always joke. I say, like, I don't even remember it, but on the morning of 9/11, like, my roommates and I watched what was happening. We watched the towers fall, and man, we had some of the best jokes ever, because at 24, 25 years old, we were watching everything just change in front of us in a way we couldn't comprehend, and that's the only thing you can do. And also, some of the jokes are just really good, as some of yours were this week. You were on fire.
Yours as well. It's just it's an interesting one. But we don't want to come on here though, and I don't want to say offend, because that's not really my concern. And
I don't think, Alden, as a comic, I'll tell you, sometimes I just like, it's like, what's the point? What are you trying to do with it?
Yeah. And like, where also are we at in the conversation? Like, I don't want to bury the actual ideas we're trying to touch on.
Yes.
Because that's part of too, the culture that Kirk belonged to also has comics in it that use their humor to Trojan horse in ideas, and then later claim that comedians don't have power. Comedians now, much like America, it's kind of like a Schrodinger's cat situation, where like the whole conservative ideology and the ideology that Kirk built his lifestyle and success on is based in the contradiction that we are this great, powerful empire that is completely unfuckwithable, and nobody can ever do anything to hurt us, and we're so powerful, and we're so great, and we're in a white man fight back, we're purity, we're power, we're badass, right? But we're also always one hair away from everything falling apart. Trans people are so dangerous.
We are one day labor away from complete collapse.
That's it. Always. We're always that. We're always big MAGA badass daddy, or we are, you know, we've got lesbians. What's that meme of like, this is the future liberals want, and it's like trans femmes whipping men in the quarry. Like we're right there, right? Similarly, comedians either are, you know, just guys yapping that have absolutely no power, or they are the modern philosopher, depending on the day. Depending on the day, they you know, we're one or the other. Like Howie Mandel. I don't think comedians really have that much power. And it's like, okay, man, well, some people are going to get their entire opinion on everything we've just discussed today from comics very soon. Already today, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But
already
I said this
yesterday.
Yes. No, I said this growing up. My news source was Weekend Update. I didn't tune in to watch Ted Koppel and you know,
Dan Rather
and Brokaw and Peter Jennings. I watched them, but like I didn't get anything from it. That was what my parents had on. I got my news from Weekend Update throughout the years. That is the influence of pop culture and comedy, and why it should be treated with a little bit of level of responsibility.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, look at this. I'm seeing somebody check on this for me. Maybe Jared, since he's always knee deep in bullshit online. Apparently, Nick Fuentes said, I'm just reading this. I'm reading.
What's the source? What are you reading it from?
I'm reading an image of a tweet. So again, I'm gonna need someone to check. Apparently, he just said,
excuse me, a tweet, a skeet, or a post. Where are you on?
This would be, it is an Instagram screen grab of a tweet.
We're sourcing
Elon Musk's X.
We're sourcing it out. Okay, thank you.
The Everything app featuring Grok 3.0.
The non-woke Grok.
Right. Somebody check this for me, and then somebody check what version of Grok we're on. Quote, to all my followers, if you take up arms, I disavow you. I disown you in the strongest possible terms. This is not what we're about. And somebody quote tweeted it with, oh, so he definitely thinks his supporter did this. Like,
okay.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's
no, and also they're also out there now doing the whole, we need to figure out who the shooter's professors were in college. Which professors?
Oh yeah, he spent. Well, I knew this was gonna. I knew this would happen. You know, and not a genius for saying this, but like when it comes out of who he was, how he was raised, and again, the facts are politically unaffiliated and did not vote in 2 previous elections. Got it. Important to have the facts. He was raised right. Where did he go wrong?
Yeah.
That's going to be part of the narrative.
Yeah. Jared says he's not seeing it. That is because you have not dug deep enough, Jared. Stop ordering at Sheets and go look. Dig in. Lock in. David McCall.
Yeah, what are you, a Wawa? What are you, a Wawa fan, Jared?
God. Y'all are out here arguing about Sheets, Wawa, whatever. When we all know that Sandwich Craft peaked with Quiznos and it never got better. And everything after that has just been running around in the shadow of the Quizno empire.
Yeah, you don't need to put that shit in a broiler. That is not Burger King. I like my sandwiches cold and hard.
Yeah. Just like you.
Just like me.
Cold-blooded. Yes, it was from a video, just for clarification.
Yeah, if it's true, I mean, like, I'm not making any comment on the right or wrong of it, but like, if Fuentes is someone who's had people come to his house, so yes, he's probably like, remember all that hateful stuff I said? Just tone it down a little bit.
And you go to the element of like the blaming the professors too, and it loops us right back into the conversation we had of like, we don't call them what we call them for no reason. That is also a textbook move of the goose stepping morons. Yeah. Like goose stepping morons. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's insane. Like it's like I could open up. Let me see. I open up Facebook right now, which is always a bad idea.
Don't do it.
But like,
don't go in there, Alden.
You'll look at this and it's already
Be
just
careful.
like, yeah. Oh, but this is hilarious. Somebody just shared my post about it with all of Kirk's quotes. Somebody who I know is ardently pro-Israel. We are seeing levels of mental gymnastics that have never been seen.
Okay. I just went into YouTube. I went into YouTube too. Here's a person who argued with me on my Instagram recently, a high school graduate with me. This is Charlie Kirk. We lost a great man. Agree with him or not, he's absolutely genuine. I'm gonna delete that person right now.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever date this person?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's good.
But that's good. This is somebody. Her and her husband. I went to graduate high school with them, and she tried to argue with me that about Superman being political, the new one, and then cited Ghostbusters as her favorite movie. And I was like, "You mean the very ultra political libertarian fantasy that is Ghostbusters '84. You mean that political movie? Yeah,
No, certainly not.
There's politics in there. Yes,
politics in movies was invented by Obama and the deep state.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yeah,
yeah. And Addie says, professors, can we talk about A&M? Yeah. In the same, like, oh, Charlie Kirk was what America's really about the free exchange of ideas. So this professor mentions gender studies, and this little fucking moron is like, well, the president actually said that that's illegal. Which, one, the president doesn't get to do that, as we all know. Not that it matters anymore, what powers the president has and doesn't. The whole Department of War thing, too. It is not within his authority to rename or create or destroy departments. Doesn't matter if you don't stop them.
It's a nickname, Alden.
Certainly. Yeah, it's a nickname. It's all right. So I have to respect what name they want to give something. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Respect their chosen identity.
That's exactly. We choose to identify as the Department of War. You what now? You what now?
You choose to identify as the Department of War.
If it seems like I'm distracted, it's because I'm currently doing one of my favorite things, which is removing the person as a follower. And so that they just don't know. They just kind of go off into the void and aren't even connected to me anymore. I'm doing it. Sorry, I can't. This is.
I'm not above it. I'm not above it. I've been waiting for somebody to come at me sideways with a comment, but I think over the last 10 years, I've established myself as enough of a monstrous debater that nobody wants to take a crack. People used to show up in my comments all the time to say stupid shit, and nowadays, and I haven't really changed my curation that much. I should curate more. I'm public on most things. You don't have to request to follow. Like you could just hit me up whenever. You can message me whenever. And I genuinely think people know they're going to get the smoke. They're going to get the smoke like I'm defending Din and Grogu. You know, they're going to get that level.
Yes,
it's crazy.
I went ahead and removed her husband too, just on principle.
We have breaking Osvetnik news.
Osvetnik
says, "Oh boy, my wife and my brother's wife are currently having an argument over all of this on Facebook. It's a bloodbath." Well, right on time for the holiday planning. Now you know that's a couple less mouths that you have to feed.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Now this live stream's gonna end, Alden, with you and me just scrolling through our own personal pages to see who else we can take out.
Because
my thing is always has been I don't have anything more for you. I this isn't about even a disagreement with you. Just like we're done here. I got nothing for you. There's no need to continue this. We're not doing any more of this. Thank you. Good day, sir.
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's real bad. That's my takeaway now. It's not good to assassinate people, and it's also not good to be a little bootlicker with no critical thinking skills. I hold both thoughts in my heart simultaneously. And you know what else?
Yeah.
We selfishly, we were robbed after taking a week off last week. You were returning from Las Vegas. I coincidentally got sick for the first time in like 3 years.
Yeah, you did.
When we took the day off, which doesn't normally happen to me. Fun fact about your boy, I had perfect attendance from the first day of kindergarten to the last day of high school. I never missed a day.
I fell off a little bit, but I won some attendance award pencils in elementary school.
That tracks for you. That tracks for you because you're a good soldier.
Well, no, because I believe in grind culture. Don't take days off. Get to work.
You believe in the grind. You invented the grind back in the 80s. But yeah, I got sick, and there was a lot of things I wanted to discuss. And here we are. We got to discuss fascism again. We got to discuss. They are robbing us of our ability to discuss the new Haley Williams album. We haven't gotten to discuss the Super Mario Galaxy movie because, again, we can't say anything anymore, Ken. That's what it is.
Free thought is under attack. I couldn't complain about the $32 breakfast sandwich and small coffee combo I had in Vegas. That was the whole point of the thumbnail that was going to be this week's episode.
And by the way, everybody, he's not joking. We were going to do an episode about how expensive everything is. It was going to be about and we might punt it, depending.
I think it could be on next week's docket. It's the high cost of fun. My thought, choosing the word fun, meaning like we're all suffering trying to get through things. We're looking for those pinpricks of light, and you can't even go get a goddamn breakfast sandwich without going, or I might not be able to have gas in my car or turn on the power. Like that's what it is.
And I a little behind the scenes note that tying in with the original topic. For some reason, when I shared this episode on our social media on Blue Sky at Anytime on Air, it came up correctly. When I shared it to Facebook, it came up with the current thumbnail and the old name. So it is about the Charlie Kirk assassination, but the title of the video is The High Cost of Fun. And that is some dark humor. Everybody can go look. I am not joking. It is so dark funny. I'm gonna screenshot it right now. I don't want it to change. I hope they didn't change it. Nope, it's still like that. It's
because of StreamYard. It's because of StreamYard, because we set things up through StreamYard, and if you change it, like we needed to change it changes in other spots. It does not always change across all platforms. Like Twitch might still be the same. We don't stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh god damn it! That's amazing.
I just sent it to you. It's very, very funny to look at. Yeah, it's awesome.
The cost of fun.
It's really, really good. I'm like, we're still like wheeze cough laughing. It's awesome. Like when I saw that today, Ken, I shit you not. I stood with my phone in my hand for like 2 minutes, realizing how it had populated, and I was like, should I leave this up? And then I was like,
because you can't it won't, no matter what you do, it won't fix it. It's very frustrating. It's problem with setting things up with StreamYard, but that's amazing. That's maybe the laugh I needed today. I don't know, or this week. I don't know.
It's really good. I'm so glad I remembered to talk about that.
We apologize if that offended anyone. I just wanted to talk about hamburgers.
I don't apologize at all. But yeah, we were going to talk about that, and then I had some other things written down. I'll rattle them off, then we'll answer these super chats, and I guess we'll get out of here because we're approaching an hour 40. I have a note in my iPhone that people know that I write things down. I wanted to visit this conversation. It's spinning out of a conversation I had this week with Jerry about parenting. Why doesn't anybody modify the lore of Santa Claus? I wanted to talk about how annoyed I am at people who post month-to-month relationship updates. If I have had depressive lows that have lasted longer than your relationship, you don't need to post about it. You getting with somebody 6 months and a year. If it's not those intervals, shut the fuck up.
So wait, hold on. The show, I also have to go to pee so bad. What are you talking about? They're posting 3-week anniversaries, or they're just lore dumping their relationship struggles and celebration? What do you mean by this?
I'm talking about a woman that I follow who has a boyfriend now and posted 4 months, with my man and like whatever. And I'm just like, that is just needless. Just absolutely needless. 4 months. 4 months. If you 4 months,
it could be big. I had a relationship that went two months and it was destructive. A lot can happen. Here's my reaction to that. I understand a little bit. I give people the room to do it. Okay, I'm not going to alternate because you love violence. Look at your thumbnail that you put out. Yeah. The high cost of fun. But what has changed for me over the years is social media isn't a conversation for your personal life. It's a performance. Yeah. I don't want. Give me a joke. Give me a point. Make some picture. Post a nice picture. But I went to buy groceries today. Like that's what we used to use it for, and that's what that kind of stuff falls into for me. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was something that
I get grouchy about that. I had a bad day today.
Wanted to touch on.
Post a joke about it. Don't say it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then we were going to talk about all those things, and then Charlie Kirk went to the marketplace of ideas and could not cover the bill at that marketplace. And so
do not make me laugh.
We
over
are.
this serious situation.
This is serious, everybody. The high cost of fun. Anyway, we're going to end this here with the super chats. Thank you again to Dr. Addy. I love this one. Go! I feel like I'm watching football, the football that Ken doesn't like. And then we had here from Jen. Thank you so much.
Don't you
for the. Honestly, I didn't know who this Charlie person was until they announced his death. Trying to catch up and understand it. It hurts my brain. Yeah, that's a normal reaction.
Yeah, and it's one of those like this, thank you, Jen. That's also very generous, but also it's like yeah, and there's a lot of people who live in that world, and I could say, oh, that's a good world to live in, but that's also something to consider. Like I was watching what's his name, Maddie or Charlie would know who's your radio guy over there. I like sometimes James O'Brien. Is that the guy
James. Here?
Over in the UK. He doesn't have one of those Charlie voices. What are we going to talk about today? He's still different. Why do we pick on Charlie's voice so much?
I have never.
Charlie,
I'm not.
He's the sweetest human being.
I have to once again establish for potential new listeners. I have to once again establish Charlie Ashby, the Imperial Senate podcast, many other things. A friend of the show, friend of this show, friend of ours. I have known Charlie since we were 14 years old. I have to reestablish that. Because in that amount of time, I've never gotten his accent right. Have I ever really fully tried? I don't know. But
him and Betty, I love it. Anyways, James O'Brien. He was talking about it, and he barely knew who he was. He was like, "Yeah, they've sent my people have sent me clips today. You know, an abhorrent, horrible, hideous idea. You know, but like, it's stunning sometimes to hear that. Not in a bad way. Just like, yeah, okay, that's something to consider when you're talking about it." I can do Maddie Gunner's accent. Oh, that right then. Hey, come around then. Hey, play some music there. Come around there now. Right then. You know what I mean?
Love that Maddie Gunner is like a Peaky Blinders character.
Charlie's good at tea.
And then finally, Ken Plume taking a page out of Stephen Colbert's book with this question, actually, because this is the first question in the Colbert questionnaire. Normally, I don't know if you knew that, Mr. Plume. Oh, hey guys, what's your sandwich order today? Normally ask what is the best sandwich. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have a sandwich today, but I will give what my favorite sandwich is. I don't know if you have an answer ready.
Mine changes. They're mostly cold. Now, then I've said this before. I like cold sandwiches, don't like hot sandwiches. And then some people give me a list of sandwiches, including the French dip, and whether that is or not, I don't know. But I generally like cold sandwiches. But what's your answer?
My answer, I might have said this on there before. I apologize for repeating myself, but there is a cafe in South Florida run by a British person who doesn't sound like either of the accents we just performed. And they make a sandwich on a
one sounds like the accents
I performed. These are not real people. We're like Austin Powers villains. It's a French baguette. It's a warm sandwich. And it's got like carved turkey in it. Very thin green apple slices, some like fruit chutney, and you can get like a little like soup on the side. I would sometimes like sub in like a ravioli. It's got and brie cheese on it. And this sandwich, man, it's like there are people in my life that I miss that this sandwich outranks.
You goddamn young millennial pretentious twat. What kind of sandwich is that? What is that?
I'm gonna send you a picture. It's
meat, cheese, lettuce, mustard. What are we doing here, Alden? A French baguette. What do you got? You got a black turtleneck on and dark glasses and a ciggy?
Can we discuss that lettuce sucks? Can we tell the truth about that?
No, I'm a fan of iceberg lettuce, the water of lettuce. I love lettuce.
Lettuce is ass. I was talking about this with our.
I love ass too, Alden. Like, what are we doing here with this sandwich?
You know what? You're right about that. You're right. If it looks like here? I'm just like on my phone, it's because I'm getting a picture of the sandwich. This sandwich.
By the way, I totally have that sandwich.
When did restaurant menus become impossible to navigate? Anybody got an answer for that?
I don't know.
Bistro sandwiches menu. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh,
what I love, Alden, as you look for your sandwich, is that someone saw your link and said, "Oh, the high cost of fun," and then saw the thumbnail and then jumped in right now to have you and me yelling at each other over a sandwich in bad British accents talking about eating ass. That's what I love. What we do, we're just the best.
I know that broadcasting is basically dead, but it's alive here. It's alive here.
Oh, I just
on this channel
broadcasted the shit out of that question.
You did. Thank you, Ken Bloom, for asking.
You sent me the sandwich here. Let's see.
Look at it.
I mean, it's good. Here's the thing. I do have an issue with the French baguette. I think French baguettes or baguettes, they're just too hard. Giggity.
Okay.
Now, the innards look solid. And I don't mind the turkey and the apple combo.
What is the bread that you prefer when you make a sandwich?
Sourdough, but that's only for specific things. But just give me 2 slices of wheat, man. Make it simple, man. I'm a simple man, Alden. You know. I'm a simple man.
Yeah. All right, so let's summarize. We don't have to have empathy for people that wanted to destroy lives.
Correct.
And Ken eats ass. And that's
correct.
Really all you need to know.
Nothing in between. Absolutely nothing in between that 2 points.
With those 2 pieces of information, we might finally have peace.
And we shall have peace. Thank you all for listening, being here, letting us have the space to have the tough conversations and the silly conversations. That's how life works for 360 degrees people. You, me, and everyone watching. Appreciate the super chats, all the stuff. We'll be back next week. We'll do it again. See you. Bye.